Recently, I've been playing the brand new game Pragmata. It's been a lot of fun, but as I play through the game, there's been some really interesting interactions that take place between the main character Hugh and the little android girl named Diana. As you travel around the moon base, Hugh has a conversation with Diana as they come into an area that looks like a normal Earth kitchen table. And while there, they talk about the need for substance and the things that keep them going. And he talked about how around the table, that as an orphan, he found a lot of things benefited him that wasn't just the food at the table, but the conversations. And how conversations are the things that kept him going. Diana, of course, found this really interesting, and later when you get back to your main station that you're working out of, she asks you about that. And he talks about the importance of these conversations you have to have with other individuals. And today on Geek Devotions, we're going to talk about why you need that and how to help facilitate it a little bit better. Hello, Devoted Geeks. Welcome to Geek Devotions, a show from Devoted Geeks who are devoted to letting you know you're loved. I'm Dallas. I'm so glad you've hit the play button. If you are new to our show, we take geek, pop culture items like movies, video games, comic books, and we use them to let people know that they're loved. So if you don't watch past this moment, know this. We love you. We care about you. There is a plan and a purpose for your life. Do not give up. As I said in my intro, there was a really interesting conversation with Diana about this whole idea of the need for conversations with other people, the life-giving aspect of conversations, of having people in your life to talk with, go back and forth. And we talk about how for some people, if we don't have the opportunity, we become sick. Not everyone the same way, but ultimately, yes, when we isolate ourselves, things break down in us. I can't help but think about the scriptures, specifically Ecclesiastes, where the writer says this: two are better than one because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has no other to lift him up. Again, if two lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, two will withstand him. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. Here the writer is talking about the need for us to have people in our lives, the necessity for us to be able to communicate and be part of a community as a whole. Like they said in Pragmata, some people, everyone's a little bit different, and they can handle some things. In that final verse of Ecclesiastes I read, it talks about one person might be able to handle a situation on their own. But the more you have with you, the better you get. You may be okay to be alone and isolated for a while, but you will absolutely 100% get to the point where you need people in your lives. This is not a question of if, but rather a question of when. And sadly, that when there are some people who that they get to that point where they need somebody, they have pushed folks away so far. We talked a bit about this a couple weeks ago in our Anime April episode about Ramparts of Ice, about putting up ice walls. But it goes beyond just the conversation of the walls that you've put up to protect yourself, because again, you can be okay for a little while, but you need to have those people with you to help you in other times of need. So what do we do about the situation? Personally, can't help but think about Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24. It says this: and let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. Here, the writer of Hebrews makes it real clear. We need to be active in stirring each other up to love and to good works, to doing something. So what is the action that you can do? A lot of it begins by having conversations with people, just like what they were saying in Pragmata. The need to talk with people, to communicate. The question is, how do we communicate? Recently, I had a conversation with a mentor, and he said something that was really profound to me. And that was simply this: that if the conversation is always one way, you don't really have a relationship. If you want to stir each other up to love and to good works, you need to be intentional about sitting down with people and talking with them. And it's awkward. I get it. Sitting down and going, hi, how's it going? Especially when you feel like you have been the one who's been isolated. But sometimes when you take the initiative to sit down and talk with somebody, you are opening a door, not just for you to go, this is my life, but to say, share your life with me, and listening to them. And this is my encouragement. This is for both sides of life, for those who feel isolated, but also for some people who out there who maybe you believe that you're socially just a great butterfly. Just the social butterfly that everyone needs to be around. How many times in a conversation with somebody do you pause? How many times do you take the moment to listen, not to respond, but to listen to the heart of the person in front of you. Many of the people that I find that are isolated, they fall into one of two sides of things. Either A, they are so active in sharing things and talking that they don't pause to give opportunity for somebody to say something. They are so active in just spilling everything out. They don't allow the person they're talking to not just to respond to what they're saying, but to share their heart. Or they're a person who's been isolated because they're never given the opportunity to share. They're always in the background and they feel like their opinions, their thoughts don't matter to anybody. So what is the solution? It's a level of both and. Both the people who are isolated and the people who are the social butterflies need to give opportunity and be active in speaking to each other. If you see people in your life, you need to be active in looking for those people who have isolated themselves and go out of your way to speak with them, encourage them. Not just hey, how's it going? And just share your life with them and pour and say, this is what you're into, but give them the opportunity to speak into you, to share their heart. Not so you can be like, oh, that's cool. And then you just go off to another conversation about your own stuff, but take interest in them. Take interest in the stuff that they're doing. You may not understand it. You may not get it, but take interest in them. Recently, I was talking with a person who they were kind of struggling with how to reach individuals who are in this kind of this nerdy, geeky space. And they're like, well, Dallas, I just don't understand what they're saying. And that's like, that's beautiful. Because what you do is you go, I don't understand this. Can you explain it? And then you're taking interest in something that's passionate for them. And they open up and they can share their heart. You not understanding is not a barrier to connecting with them, but rather it is the key to you doing it, because you go, I don't understand. Teach me, show me. And then they open their heart and they begin to release what's inside. At the same time, for those of you who are isolated, you feel like you've been burned time after time, I want to say this. First off, it is not the church that has hurt you. Now, some of you already got you're built up on the inside. You're like, wait a minute, Dallas, hold on. No, pause for a second, please. Hear what I'm saying. It is not the church, big C church, the body of Christ as a whole, who has ostracized you. There were individuals who has done this. And it's painful and it hurts. And I want to invite you to keep pressing in. It takes a while. But monitor what you're doing. When you step in and you talk to people, are you taking interest in them? Or are you just wanting to share about you? I understand you feel isolated, but the same advice that I've given to those individuals applies to you. Are you investing in those individuals? Are you asking about them? Are you listening to their heart? And it's awkward, I know, it's strange in a way, but as you do that, you begin to create this two-way street to develop relationship. And then if there is a pattern of things being pushed back, sit back for a second, go, well, why? Why is there this pattern of being pushed back? Is there something perhaps that you've stepped out of line with? Or perhaps you're misunderstanding? And ask, hey, I've been doing this, where am I missing step with? Work within the community to grow. It's a hard place to be. And I wish that it could be easy for everyone. I really do. But we live in a society, we live in a generation that we're kind of untrusting, and we've typically built up shields to protect ourselves. And when I say we live in a generation, I'm not saying a Gen Z, millennial, X-boomer. I'm talking the people who are alive today as a whole. We have built up walls to isolate ourselves, whether we know it or not. And it takes grace and humility from everybody, and for us to be what God's truly called us to be. Before we wrap this up, I want to say this. I want to encourage you that some of you, as I've talked about this, you've thought about people who have caused you to isolate yourself, or people who you perceive to be isolating you. I want to encourage you to forgive those individuals. I know that's difficult and that's hard. Depending on the depth of that, whatever took place, it can be painful. But if you allow your unforgiveness and your bitterness to remain, all that does is taint your vision for everybody else around you. You begin to see everyone else as the enemy, and you isolate yourself even more. And I want to encourage you, start with forgiveness. This is how we stir up love and good works, spur each other up to these things, is starting with forgiveness and grace. It doesn't mean necessarily you're going to be buddy-buddy with those individuals who hurt you in the past. But what it does is releases them from your heart so you can focus on the good things that God wants you to work on going forward. Question of the week for you guys. I want to fill our comment section with something beautiful, with something that's encouraging. Leave a comment talking about somebody who invested in you, who encouraged you, who inspired you, and took time to hear your heart. I want to hear those stories in the comment section down below. I also want to say thank you to all you amazing devoted geeks out there, because you guys encourage and inspire Celeste and I. You guys have shared your hearts with us as we have shared with you, and we are thankful for that. You guys inspire us and help us to keep going on a regular basis. I'm over here right now. As you guys can probably tell, I'm not feeling well. But I'm not doing Geek Devotions because, we got to get a devotion out. But it's because I genuinely want to invest in you guys, because Celeste and I genuinely love and care for every one of you. And we are so thankful for your encouragement and for your help to do what we do, whether you're sharing our content out, you're interacting in this stuff, or if you're one of our devoted Patreon geeks, which, by the way, if you'd like to help support us financially, go to our website, geekdevotions.com, click on our support page where you can find out how to support us either on a monthly basis, or you can even give a one-time gift. But beyond all that, we wanted to continue to do life with you guys, and we do that through a variety of ways. We have the Facebook group, Devoted Geek Collective, that you guys can join and be part of and communicate with. We have a Discord channel where people are joining and taking part in the conversation, and there's some really good stuff taking place there. We have our weekly live streams that take place on Twitch and YouTube, where we play video games, we do a Bible study, we take time to pray with each other, and we just do life right there. And then we also have our normal social media stuff. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Threads, we have TikTok. Take part in what's taking place here at Geek Devotions. Finally, one last reminder, remind you guys, I have written a book. We're working on the editing stage of it. My editor is working overtime to get me some really great things for me to work on to make sure this is exactly what it needs to be for you guys. If you guys are interested in hearing more about the book, sign up for my newsletter I have, and there'll be a link in the description down below for you guys to be able to get emails from me on a fairly regular basis as I update you about the progress of the book. How do I actually pray? So guys, until next time, stay devoted, peace and love.